RWBY as a show has its ups and downs, and I personally know that very well. But some in the anime community have been overly critical of the show, some even denouncing it as an anime, and some going as far as to call it an objectively bad mess. With the premiere of RWBY Volume 6 hitting the internet today, I want to take a moment to talk about why I feel RWBY is truly a great anime, and despite its flaws, will be one worth remembering. My name's Gio, and this is the Fail Train Breakdown.
1, 2, 3, go!
If you aren't familiar with RWBY, or haven't watched volumes 1 through 5, feel free to skip to timestamp 415, otherwise keep on watching as usual. RWBY is a 3D anime produced by internet super company Rooster Teeth, originally created and written by the late Monty Ohm. This show was first teased in the drop of the famous Red trailer, which currently stands at 13 million views on YouTube. This short trailer featured the unnamed protagonist Ruby Rose, fighting some werewolf-like creatures in the snow, all to an amazing custom track by Jeff and Casey Lee Williams. 3 more trailers would show off the 3 other members of Team RWBY, each letter standing for the 4 team members and their matching colors. Volume 1 premiered on July 18, 2013, and despite some questionable animation quality at times, and some minor writing issues, the show set itself up with a great premise, a promising cast, and a positive outlook on its future, later signing big-name voice actors like Vic Mignogna to voice the dark titular character, Uncle Crow. While Volume 3 of RWBY was still in production, Monty suffered a severe allergic reaction during a medical procedure and passed away on February 1, 2015. His co-writers and noted anime amateurs Miles and Carey took up the mantle to continue the show using the scripts and the storyboards laid out by Monty before his death. Due to this sudden change in writing style and large increase in animators being hired to fill Monty's shoes and produce the show, 2 things happened in the 3rd season. First, there was a drastic increase in animation quality. With a full team of animators, the show looked and felt much more organic. The models were upgraded and given the full HD treatment, and the scenery felt much more colorful and filled in. Secondary characters were no longer black blobs, but had actual character models. With the increase in animation quality, however, the actual writing of the show seemed to take a massive hit. Fair warning, spoilers ahead. The ending of Volume 3 was certainly disheartening. One of the main characters lost a limb, the other emotionally paralyzed by her ex who just threatened to kill or maim anyone she cares about, and a fan-favorite character was killed off in a very questionable manner. Some, including myself, very unsatisfied with the motivations and logical reasoning leading up to the character's death. You see, using a character's death to force development of the protagonist is very common, and many new writers take this idea and execute it without proper thought. It felt like this fan-loved character was denied the privilege of having proper motivation and essentially had their critical thinking turned off so that they could be the sacrificial lamb to help the protagonist pull out a Super Saiyan-esque ability out of their rear. This choice caused a great deal of fans to criticize Rooster Teeth, and many even leaving the fandom behind after these glaring writing mishaps took place. After the dust settled, Volume 4 was released, and for many of us, it was a step in the right direction. It's clear the writers took more care with how they treated the different characters in the show, and motivations and scenarios the characters encountered felt much more natural and far less forced. Volume 5 carried this same feeling, and its finale is arguably the best in the series thus far. Great action, great emotional moments between characters, nothing felt forced or overdone, characters with hubris got served, and the next volume is ready to fire on all cylinders with a great send-off. Everything Volume 3 failed to do was delivered in Volume 5, and now we can break down the different aspects of this show to see why it's so damn satisfying to watch. First, I want to take a look at the characters. Each person in this story has their own unique personality, and you can see common threads between family as well as teachers and students. Children aren't carbon copies of their parents, and students aren't just weaker versions of their masters. At the same time, each one develops their own skills and gets better and better with each fight. Nothing is hand-delivered with the exception of Volume 3's ending, and the main focus is less on raw power and transformations, looking at you Dragon Ball Z, but more on the tactical skill of each fighter and their ability to use their powers and weapons to their full potential. My Hero Academia has the same premise for their characters, where those with innately great quirks can lose to those who work hard to make theirs work. Even those with quirks that are better for defense learn to use their abilities to fight those with much greater offensive powers at their behest. This kind of slow, methodical raise in ability is something that a show planning on having a long yearly runtime requires. The majority of the power-ups in Naruto Shippuden, for example, all happen within the final arc of the show, and thanks to the story essentially ending for those characters, there's no need to worry about the future development with overpowered abilities. It would be wrong for me not to mention the great character design. The design of the characters and places within this world are really where this show shines, and the main cast of the show all have great, well-tailored outfits and looks. I know many a cosplayer who adore cosplaying these characters despite only being mild fans of the show, and I can't blame them. It's really damn fun. Especially since Monty designed each outfit with pockets so cosplayers have somewhere to put their phones and keys. You the real MVP, Monty. Second, let's take a look at the world design I just mentioned. Each kingdom has its own theme. Mantle is a technological capitalistic empire. Vacuo is the home of the historically oppressed fauna, and their strained resources and civil conflicts. Vale is the home to many small towns and villages scattered throughout the wilderness with central hubs like Beacon Academy, and Mistral is a mountainous and more traditional society with strict laws and great defense force, comparable to Mantle's. Each kingdom, each academy, and each culture has its own themes and tones which set the mood for each episode. And the design team do a great job really flushing out the locale and the people living there. It really feels like the characters are traveling to different cultures and encounter varying levels of courtesy. Special locations are the highlight of the show, with places like the Vault in Volume 5, a beautifully dressed peaceful chamber, makes for a great fighting stage. Any future fighting game set in the RWBY universe won't be hurting for some great locations for good-looking maps. Third, the writing. This is easily the weakest, but Volume 4 and 5 have shown a huge jump in quality, and Volume 5's ending really felt organic with its character development and pacing. The way the cast would emote and react felt realistic, and unlike in Volume 3, the different characters acted within their sensibilities and tactical awareness, something the show very much needed to improve on. The villain's purpose in their fight gets pulled out through conversation, but not in an overly expositional manner. The pent-up emotion from previous encounters can be read and acknowledged, so no miraculous reunions or resentments that exist outside of what's realistic. There's still quite a few things that need improving, but so far they are heading in the right direction. A well-kept balance of show and tell help the story stay sensible and exciting to watch. Fourth, the voice acting. If it weren't for the writing hiccups, I would actually place this as the worst of the points I'm highlighting in this video. The original voice cast was all pulled from existing Rooster Teeth employees. As the show's cast grew, big-name voice actors like Vic Mignogna signed on to play main characters. Unfortunately, they also chose some well-known individuals to voice characters who really ought to have been passed on. Why they decided to have cosplayer Jessica Nigri play secondary villain Cinder still eludes me. Even in Volume 5, after a few years of voicing her character, some line deliveries just feel forced. Some of the original cast members also seem to be forcing some of their lines, but overall, for a group of people who aren't professional voice actors, they do a damn good job. Seriously, shout out to the voice coaches and the voice actors for this show. You guys did much better than I think anyone could expect from studio hands. Also, Vic Mignogna instantly makes this category a win. Sorry, but you can't beat the Vic.
Hey, hold on a second! I've given her a personal space! Quit it!
Before we move on to number 5, an honorable mention I want to throw in here is the amazing soundtrack. Jeff Williams is one of the local musicians working with Rooster Teeth, and he and his daughter, Casey Lee Williams, do an amazing job doing most of the songs for RWBY. All of the title songs, the credit songs, basically anything involving lyrics, and as well as a lot of the melodic themes throughout the show are all done by Jeff Williams, and he does an absolutely amazing job, seriously. This is one of my favorite anime soundtracks of all time. The fifth and final reason I really feel this show deserves the praise and attention is the fanbase. Despite the usual annoying aspects like the tryhards and the shippers, and God are RWBY shippers the worst, it stems from a unique place. The core of the fanbase comes from anime fans who also happen to be Rooster Teeth fans when the RWBY was announced. The subculture within these two fandoms merged and grew into the fanbase we know today. And I've yet to meet a member of said fanbase, who I didn't enjoy a good conversation with. Seeing fans run up to me in full costume rather than just taking pics with me, but actually trying to talk with me and get to know what I love about the show, really makes me proud to be a member of this fanbase, even though I'm much more of a lurker online than a participant. The fandom is able to shrug off negativity while still acknowledging criticism for the work and acknowledging that the people who make the show are human and doing the best with the hand they were dealt. It's clear to me that despite the hiccups and plot holes along the path that this franchise has taken, it looks like there are smoother roads ahead, and I can't wait to see where this new season takes us. When you take an objective look at this show and see how it came to be, an animator given the chance by his boss to create something new and exciting, and seeing it grow into an international anime sensation with fans all over the globe, it's hard to challenge the idea that RWBY is really a great show. You can criticize it, yes, but to try and claim that the show is bad or that it isn't anime because it wasn't created within the border of Japan is honestly ridiculous. Those who are so against the show need to reevaluate their priorities and look in the mirror. Is bashing something and degrading it just because it doesn't fit your subjective idea of what anime should be really what's best for the anime community? I don't know about you, but I can't wait to see what comes next in RWBY. Alright, that's about it. But before you click off the video, let me introduce myself. My name is Gio, and I'm the creator of the channel you're watching right now. And I'm looking for your help. You see, I enjoy making the content here on YouTube. Being a small channel with only 4,000 subscribers makes it hard to sit and devote time to making these videos. I usually only break around 1,000 views, and any type of ad revenue I get from older viral hits isn't very much. If you would consider commenting, liking, or even subscribing to this channel, it would really help me out in not only motivating me to upload more often, but to make putting all the work into editing these videos worth it. If you are already a subscriber, thank you. It really means a lot to me. And please consider joining the channel as a contributor. Also, let me know down below if you think I should continue my RWBY Kingdom series breaking down the 4 RWBY Kingdoms and their history, or if I should bring back my gaming streams. Any feedback from you guys really does impact how the channel moves forward. As for future content, I already got a somewhat topical video in the works involving 2 of pop culture's favorite underdogs, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Again, my name's Gio, and this is the Fail Train Network. At their behest. Fuck, shit. I gotta restart this whole fucking thing now. It's too many mistakes.